Bismillah. In this video I'm gonna solve Edexcel IGCSE Mathematics A January 2022 paper 1HR. Number 1. N is an integer. Write down all the values of n such that n more than or equal -2 less than 3. So start from -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Integers means the whole numbers, positive, negative, and 0. D on the number line represents the inequality y less than or equal 1. Draw closed circle at 1. Y less than or equal 1, so all the numbers to the left, including 1. Number 2. Each time John plays a game, the probability that he wins the game 0.65. John is going to play the game 300 times. Work out an estimate for the number of games that John wins. So to find the estimate number or the expected number, multiply the probability, which is 0.65, by the total number of times 300 equals 195 times. Number 3. The shaded shape is made using 3 identical right angle triangles and a square. Work out the perimeter of the shaded shape. First, we need to find the side of the square. To find the side of the square, for the right angle triangle, we have the hypotenuse 16, and we have this side 12.8, so this side 12.8. Then we can find that one. If we consider that this x and this 12.8, so we can find x using Pythagoras theorem. So square root of 16 squared minus 12.8 squared equals 9.6. So this side 9.6, so this side 9.6 centimeter, 9.6. Now to find this distance, we can call this distance y. To find y, we found that distance, which is x, 9.6, so this one, 9.6. Now to find y, 12.8 minus 9.6. So y equals 12.8 minus 9.6 equals 3.2 centimeter. Now you can find the perimeter equals, we have 316, so 16 multiplied 3 plus 9.6 times 2 plus 3.2 equals 70.4 centimeter. Number 4a, complete the table of values for y equals x squared minus 4x plus 3. So to complete, use your calculator, substitute by x equal -2 and find y. So -2 squared minus 4 times -2 plus 3 equals 15. By the same way, substitute by x equal 1. Now if x equal 1, so 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 3 equals 0, so put 0. Substitute by x equal 2. X equal 2, so 2 squared minus 4 times 2, so 4 minus 8, -4 plus 3, so -1. Now put x equal 4, so 4 squared minus 4 times 4, 0 plus 3 equal 3, so 3. Now B, on the grid, draw the graph y equals x squared minus 4x plus 3 for the values of x from negative 2 to 4. Now plot the points, negative 2, 15, negative 1, 8, negative 1, 8, zero, 3, 1, 0, 2, negative 1, 2, negative 1, 3, 0, 4 and 3, now join them with a smooth curve. So this is the graph. Number 5, Yusuf sat 8 examination. Here are his marks for 5 of the examination. For his results in all 8 examinations, the mode of his marks is 80, the median of his marks is 74, the range of his marks is 16. Find Yusuf's mark for each of the other 3 examinations. First, because the mode is 80, so this means 80 more than 1 time. We have 80 1 time, so we need to add 1 more. So we can write 80. Now the median of his marks is 74, and we have even number of marks. So we have 2 at the middle. So to find the median, you need to add these 2 values, then divide by 2. Because the median is 74, this means one of them less than 74 and one more than 74. Now if we try these values, 72 and 75, and add them, then divide by 2, it doesn't work because 72 plus 75 over 2 equals 73.5. So we need to add 1 more value between them. If we consider this value A, so we can consider that the 2 middle values, A and 75, now A plus 75 divided by 2 equals the median, which is 74. So we can find A, 2 times 74, which is 148, minus 75 equals 73. So this value, 73. Now the range of his mark is 16. If we subtract 80 minus 68 equals 12, doesn't work. So we need to add 1 mark less than 68. If this mark B, so 80 minus B equals 16. So B equals 80 minus 16 equals 64. So this value 64. 6a, work out the lowest common multiple LCM of 36 and 120. So factorize 36 and 120. 36 divided by 2 equals 18, divide by 2 equals 9, divide by 3 equals 3, divide by 3 equals 1. 120 divided by 2, 60 divided by 2, 30 divided by 2, 15 divided by 3, 5, divide by 5, 1. So 36 equals 2 power 2 times 3 power 2, 120, 2 power 3 times 3 times 5. LCM takes all factors, and if the factor common, he will take the greatest power. So 2 power 2 and 2 power 3, he will take 2 power 3. 3 power 1 and 3 power 2, so 3 power 2. And you have 5, he will take 5. Equals 360. Moving on. A equals 5 power 2 times 7 power 4 times 11 power B. B equals 5 power M, 7 power N minus 5 times 11. M, N, and B are integers such that M more than 2, N more than 10, B more than 1. Find the highest common factor HCF of A and B. Give your answer as a product of powers of its prime factors. To find HCF takes the common factors only. To least power, we have 5 power 2 and 5 power M, and M more than 2, so HCF will take 5 power 2. Because M more than 2, he will take the least power, so he will take the power of 2. Next factor, 7 power 4 and 7 power N minus 5. N more than 10, this means N minus 5 more than 5, so he will take 7 power 4, because N minus 5 will be greater than 4, so we'll take 7 power 4, so times 7 power 4. And we have 11 power B, 11 power 1, and B more than 1, so he will take 11 power 1, so 11. This is the highest common factor. Number 7. Millie went on a car journey. She traveled from Annecy to Bree to Clando and then to Duckbridge. For Annecy to Bree, Millie drove 245 kilometers in 2.5 hours. For Bree to Clando, Millie drove 220 kilometers at an average speed 80 kilometers per hour. For Clando to Duckbridge, Millie drove at an average speed of 72 kilometers in 50 minutes. Work out Millie's average speed in kilometers per hour for the journey from Annecy to Duckbridge. Give your answer correct to one decimal place. To find the average speed, you have to find the total distance and then divide by the total time. So first, from Annecy to Bree, the distance 245 kilometers. So Annecy to Bree, the distance 245 kilometers, and the time 2.5 hours. Then now from Bree to Clando, the distance 220 kilometers with average speed 80. So to find the time, divide 220 kilometers by 80 kilometers per hour to find the time. The time 2.75 hours. So from Bree to Clando, the distance 220 kilometers and the time 2.75 hours. Now from Clando to Duckbridge, the average speed 72 kilometers and the time 50 minutes. So to find the distance, you need to multiply 72 by 50 over 60, because you need to convert the minute to hour, equals 60 kilometers. So from Clando to Duckbridge, the distance 60 kilometers and the time 50 minutes. This means 50 over 60 hours. Now to find the average speed, find the total distance, then divide by the total time. So the average speed equals 245 plus 220 plus 60 over 2.5 plus 2.75 plus 50 over 60 equals 86.3 to 1 decimal kilometers per hour. Number 8. Write 5 times 10 power 4 as an ordinary number. So 5 and 4 zeros. B. Write 0.00006 in standard form. So move this decimal point till this number between 1 and 10. So 6 times 10 power. The decimal point after 5 digits, so times 10 power negative 5. Now see, work out 4 times 10 power 512 divide 1.6 times 10 power 700. You can use your calculator to divide 4 by 1.6. 4 divided by 1.6 equals 2.5. Then 10 power 512 divide 10 power 700, subtract the power, so times 10 power negative 188. Number 9. A. Simplify. X power 4 times x power 5. When you multiply, add the power, so x power 9. B. Simplify. 4y squared all power 3. Distribute the power, so 4 power 3. Y power 2 all power 3. 4 power 3 equals 64. Y power 2 all power 3 multiply the power, so y power 6. C. Factorize. N squared minus 7n plus 12. No common factor. Trinomial. So 2 brackets. N squared, so n times n. Two numbers, if you multiply you get 12, and if you add you get negative 7, negative 3 and negative 4. Number 10. Jonty has a storage container in the shape of a cuboid as shown in the diagram. Jonty is going to paint the outside of his storage container apart from the base, which is shown shaded in the diagram. He needs enough paint to cover the 4 sides and the top. Each tin of paint covers an area 15 meters square. The cost of each tin of paint recently increased by 10%. After the increase, the cost of each tin of paint is £26.95. Jonty says, before the increase, I could have bought enough paint for less than £200. Show that Jonty is correct. Show your working clearly. So we need to find the cost before the increase. So before the increase, we can find the cost for each 10 increased by 10%. So it was 100 increased by 10, now 110. After the increase, the cost of each 10, 26.95. So before the increase, we can use cross multiply to find before increase. So multiply 26.95 times 100, divide by 110. The answer will be 24.5. So each 10 costs 24.5. Now we need to find the number of tens we need to paint the 4 sides and the top. The area for this rectangle, 3 times 2.5, and the same for that one. And the area for this rectangle, 12 times 3, and the same for the opposite one. And for the one at the top, 2.5 multiply 12. So we need to find the area, surface area we need to paint. So 3 times 2.5 times 2 for this rectangle and that one. So we multiply by 2 because we have 2 rectangles, plus for this rectangle 12 times 3 multiply by 2 because we have 2 rectangles, this one and the one at the back, plus the top which is 12, multiply 2.5. So plus 12 times 2.5 equals 117 meters square. Now, to find the number of tens we need, divide 117 by 15, because each 10 covers 15 meters square. To find the number of tens you need 117, the total area we have to bend, divide by 15 equals 7.8. So we need 8 tens. So you have to round up. Now 8 tens and each tens cost 24.5. So to find the cost before the increase, multiply 8 by 24.5 equals 196 pound. So John T is correct because less than 200. So John T is correct. Number 11. The diagram shows sector OBQ of a circle, center O. OB equal OQ equals 7.1 centimeter. Angle BOQ equals 110. Calculate the area of the sector OBQ. Give your answer correct one decimal place. Area of the sector equals angle, which is 110, over 360 times by r squared. So times by 7.1 squared equals 48.4 centimeter square to 3 significant figures. 12a. Expand and simplify n times n minus 4 times 3n plus 5. So you can start to multiply the two brackets, n minus 4 times 3n plus 5. n times 3n equals 3n squared. n times 5, 5n. Then negative 4 times 3, negative 12n. Negative 4 times positive 5, negative 20. Combine the like terms. So 3n squared. 5 minus 12, so negative 7n minus 20. Now multiply by n. n times 3n squared minus 7n minus 20 equals n times 3n squared, 3n power 3. n times negative 7n, so negative 7n squared. n times negative 20, negative 20n. B. Express 3 over x plus 2 over 2x plus 1 over 4 as a single fraction in its simplest form. We need same denominator. To have same denominator, we can make denominator for all 4x, because this is the lowest common denominator. 4x, so we need to multiply the first fraction by 4. So multiply by 4, multiply by 4. And for the second fraction, multiply by 2. So multiply by 2, multiply by 2. And for the third one, multiply by x. So multiply by x, multiply by x. Now we have the same denominator for all, 4x, 4x, 4x. So you can write the denominator for x. And for the numerator, 3 times 4, 12, plus 2 times x equals 2x. And 2 times 2 equals 4, plus 1 times x equals x. Now, simplify the numerator. X plus 2x equals 3x. 4 plus 12 equals 16. So 3x plus 16 over 4x. 13. Hector has a bag that contains 12 counters. There are 7 green counters and 5 red counters in the bag. Hector takes at random a counter from the bag. He looks at the counter and puts the counter back into the bag. Hector then takes at random a second counter from the bag. He looks at the counter and puts the counter back into the bag. Complete the probability tree diagram. For the first counter, the probability for green 7 over 12, so probability of red 5 over 12. Same for the second, because he put the counter back, so same. So probability of green 7 over 12, and for red 5 over 12. Now B, work out the probability that both counters are red. So red and red, so 5 over 12 times 5 over 12. 5 over 12 times 5 over 12 equals 25 over 144. Megan has a jar containing 15 counters. There are only blue counters, green counters, and red counters in the jar. Hector is going to take at random one of the counters from his bag of 12 counters. He will look at the counter and put the counter back into the bag. Hector is then going to take at random a second counter from his bag. He will lock the counter and put the counter back into the bag. Megan is then going to take at random one of the counters from her jar of counters. She will look at the counter and put the counter back into the jar. The probability that the three counters each have a different color is 7 over 24. Work out how many blue counters there are in the jar. So for the bag we have 7 green and 5 red. In total we have 12. For the jar we have number of blue and number of green and number of red, and the total 15. We have 2 from the bag and 1 from the jar. So 2 from the bag to be different color, so 1 green and 1 red. Maybe the first green and the second red, or the first red and the second green. And for the third one should be blue, because it cannot be green or red. So the probability that the 2 counters from the bag, 1 green and 1 red, so 7 over 12 for green and 5 over 12 for red, multiply by 2 because the order does matter. Maybe the first green and second red, or the second green and the first red. So this is the probability that the first 2 counters different color. Each has different color. Now for the third one, the probability to blue, if we consider that we have x counters blue, so multiply by x over 15 equals 7 over 24. Now with your calculator find that value. Equals 35 over 72 times x over 15 equals 7 over 24. Now multiply these two fractions. 35 times x equals 35x. 72 times 15 equals 1080 equals 7 over 24. Now find x. X equals, transpose 1080 to the other side, multiply. So 7 times 1080 divide by 24 multiply 35 equals 9 counters. Number 14, A, B, C, and D are points on a circle, center O. AOC is a diameter of the circle. Angle BAC equals 55. Work out the sides of the angle ADB. This angle, circumference angle, equals that one because opposite to the same arc AB. So angle D equal angle C, circumference angle, opposite to the same arc. So if we can find angle C, then we can find angle D. Now in triangle ABC, we have AC diameter. So this angle ABC equals 90. So this angle 90. because the circumference angle opposite to the diameter equals 90. So you can write angle ABC equals 90. The reason, because AC diameter. Now angle C, you can find angle ACB. Angle ACB equals 180 minus 90 plus 55 equals 35, because the sum of the interior angles equals 180. Sum of interiors of triangles equals 180. Now then angle D equal angle C, so angle D equal angle C equal 35, because opposite to the same arc, opposite same arc. 15. Using algebra, prove that given any three consecutive whole numbers, the sum of the square of the smallest number and the square of the largest number is always 2 more than twice the square of the middle number. First, if we have three consecutive whole numbers, so we can consider them n and n plus 1 and n plus 2. Now we need to prove that the sum of the square of the smallest number and the square of the largest number is always 2 more than twice of the square of the middle number. So we can find the square of the smallest and the square of the largest first. So n squared plus n plus 2 all squared. So n squared plus expand n plus 2 all squared. N squared, n times n. Then 2 times 2 times n, which is 4n. And 2 times 2, which is 4. Combine the like terms. So 2n squared plus 4n plus 4. Now find 2 more than twice the square of the middle number. So 2 plus twice, this means 2 times the square of the middle, so n plus 1 all squared. This means 2 more than twice the square of the middle. So 2 plus 2, then expand n plus 1 squared, n plus 1 all squared, n times n equal n squared. 2 times 1 times n, 2n. And 1 times 1 equals 1. So 2 times n squared, so 2n squared. 2 times 2n, 4n. And 2 times 1 equals 2. Combine the like terms, so you have 2n squared plus 4n plus 2. So they are equal. So we prove what's required. So the sum of the squares of the smallest and the largest equals 2 more than twice the square of the middle, because we get the same answer. Number 16. An arithmetic series has first term 1 and common difference 4. Find the sum of all terms of the series from 41st term to the 100th term inclusive. To find the sum of the terms from 41st to 100th, we can find S100 minus S40. S100 equals 100 over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1, which is 99d, minus S40, 40 over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1, so 39d. We have the first term 1, so a equals 1. And the common difference 4, so d equals 4. Then substitute to find the answer. So 100 over 250 into 2a, 2 times 1, plus 99 times 4, minus 40 divided by 2 equals 20. 2a, so 2 times 1, plus 39d, so 39 times 4, equals 16,740. 17. The Venn diagram shows a universal set and 3 sets A, B, and C. 6, 3, 8, 2, 5, and 4 represent the number of elements. Find n of A union B, means number of A union B. A union B, to find the number of A union B, add 6 plus 3 plus 2 plus 8. Because this number is the number of elements in each region. So 6 plus 3, 9, 9 plus 2, 11, 11 plus 8, 19. So equals 19. Double I, n of A intersect C. A intersect C. A and C, there is no common region between A and C, so there is no common elements between A and C. So number of elements, 0. Triple I, n of B intersect node C. Node C means the region around C. The region around C intersect B at this region. This region contains 3 and 8, so 3 plus 8, so we have 11 elements. IV, n of node A union node B union node C. Node A union node B union node C, we can write in a different way. Note the intersection. This means A intersect B intersect C, all not. Now to find the number of not the intersection, there is no intersection between A and B and C. There is no common elements between the 3 sets. So not the intersections means all the elements in the universal. So add all. 4 plus 6 plus 3 plus 8 plus 2 plus 5 equals 28. 18. The 3 solids A, B, and C are similar, such that the surface area of A to the surface area of B 4 to 9, and the volume of B to the volume of C 125 to 343. Work out the ratio between the height of A to the height of C. Give your ratio in its simplest form. First, they are similar. A, B, and C are similar. The ratio between the area of A to the area of B, 4 to 9. So now the ratio between side A to side B equals the square root of 4 over 9 equals 2 to 3. And the volume B to the volume C, 125 to 343. So side B to side C equals cubic root 125 over 343 equals 5 over 7. Now we have side A to side B 2 to 3 and side B to side C 5 to 7. I want the same number of parts for side B, so multiply this ratio by 5 and multiply that one by 3. So multiply this ratio by 5 and multiply this ratio by 3. Now you have the ratio between side A to side B, 10 to 15, and between side B to side C, 15 to 21. So the ratio between side A to side C equals 10 to 21. So the ratio between height A to height C, 10 to 21. 19. Given that cubic root of 1 over x all power 4 equals x power m, find the value of m. We can simplify the left hand side. Cubic root 1 over x all power 4 can be written as 1 over x power 1 over 3 all power 4. So this can be written, if you have two powers, multiply them. So 1 over x power 4 over 3. Now we can flip the fraction and make the power negative. So x power negative 4 over 3 equals x power m. So m equals negative 4 over 3. B, given that a, b, and c are integers, express 3x squared plus 12x plus 19 in the form a x plus b all squared plus c. So start with 3x squared plus 12x, take 3 common, so you are left with x squared plus 4x, close bracket, plus 19. Now this bracket can be written as bracket squared minus number square, inside the bracket square root of x squared x, have 4, which is 2, then minus 2 squared, plus 19. Now multiply 3 times the bracket, 3x plus 2 all squared, and 3 times negative 2 squared, so negative 12, plus 19. We can combine the like term, so 3x plus 2 all squared plus 7. 20. The curve with equation y equal fx has one turning point. The coordinates of this turning point are negative 6, negative 4. Write down the coordinates of the turning point on the curve with equation y equal fx plus 5. Fx plus 5, this vertical translation, 5 units up. So the point with coordinate xy will be x and y plus 5. So add 5 for negative 4 and keep x the same. So negative 6 and negative 4 plus 5 equals 1. So negative 6 and 1. For double I, y equals f of 3x. If you multiply x by 3, this horizontal stretch by scale factor 1 over 3. So the point x and y will be x over 3 and y. So divide negative 6 by 3, you get negative 2, and keep y the same, so negative 4. The graph y equal gx is shown on the grid below. On the grid, sketch the graph y equals 2gx. 2gx, this vertical stretch by scale factor 2. So the point x and y will be x and 2y. So this point 3, negative 1 will be 3 and negative 2. So this is the image for this point. That point 4 and 0 will be the same, 4 and 0. 2 and 0 will be the same, 2 and 0. Now you can draw the image for this function. So this is the graph after the transformation. The graph of y equal hx intersect x-axis at 2 points. The coordinates of the 2 points negative 1, 0, 6, and 0. The graph of y equal h of x plus a passes through the point with coordinates 2 and 0, where a is a constant. Find the two possible values of a. This is the original function, y equal hx. Intersect x-axis at negative 1, 0, 6, and 0. After transformation, y equals h of x plus a, this horizontal translation, a units, maybe to the right or to the left, we don't know. Now the new function pass through the point 2 and 0. So we have two cases. Maybe negative 1 and 0, move to the right till reach 2 and 0. This means from negative 1 to 2, 3 to the right. In this case, a equals negative 3. If the curve move to the right. And now if the curve move to the left, this means 6 and 0 becomes 2 and 0. This means 6 becomes 2, so minus 4. So this means 4 units to the left. So now a equals 4. 21. The histogram gives information about the weights in kg of all watermelons in a field. There are 16 watermelons with a weight between 8 kg and 8.5. Between 8 and 8.5. So the area for this rectangle equals 16. Work out the total number of watermelons in the field. So from the area for this one, we can find the scale of y-axis. Area equal base times height. Base equal 0.5 because from 8 to 8.5, so 0.5. And for the height, we can find the height. 16 divided by 0.5. So the height, 16 divided 0.5 equal 32. Now how many squares do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 squares from 5, so 6.4. 6.4. So to find the interval, divide 32 by 6.4 equals 5. So the interval 5, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Now we can find the area of each rectangle. For the first rectangle, base 1, height 15, so 1 times 15. For the second one, it's given to you 16. For the third one, from 8.5 to 9.5, so 1 times 20, 23, so 1 times 23, plus the next one, from 9.5 to 10.5, and the height 30, so 1 multiply 30, and the last one, from 10.5 to 12, so 1.5, times 12, so 1.5 times 12 equals 102. 22. The diagram shows triangle ABC. C equals 11.5, correct to 1 decimal place. X equals 80, correct to the nearest whole number. Y equals 75, correct to the nearest whole number. Calculate the upper bound for the value of B. Show you're working clearly. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. Now to find B, you can use sine rule because we have 2 angles and 1 side. But we need to find the third angle because B opposite to angle B. Angle B equals 180 minus x minus y. So this angle 180 minus x minus y. Now use the sine rule. So B over sine 180 minus x minus y equals C over sine y. So B equals C sine 180 minus x minus y over sine y. Now if we need b upper, so the numerator should be upper, so c upper, and sine upper, so this means x and y lower, so this lower and lower, and for sine y lower, so this means y lower. So for c upper, c 11.5 correct one decimal place, so 0.1 divide by 2, 0.05, so add, so 11.55. Sine, we need x and y lower, x and y correct to the whole number, so 1 divided by 2, 0.5, so subtract 0.5, so sine 180 minus 79.5 minus 74.5 over sine y, we need sine y lower, so y lower, so sine 74.5 equals 5.25 to three significant figures. 23. Two particles P and Q move along a straight line. The fixed point O lies on this line. The displacement of P from O at time t second is s meters, where s equals t power 3 minus 4t power 2 plus 5t for t more than 1. The displacement of Q from O at time t second is x meters, where x equals t power 2 minus 4t plus 4 for t more than 1. Find the range of the values of t where t more than 1, for which both particles are moving in same direction along the straight line. Both particles are moving in the same direction when their velocities positive together or negative together. So we can find expression for velocity for the first particle, for particle B. The velocity ds over dt equals 3t squared minus 8t plus 5. Now to see when the velocity positive, so solve the inequality more than 0. Your calculator to find the stationary value, you will find that the stationary values t equals 1 and t equals 5 over 3. Now you can draw number line to represent the sign of the velocity. This one, this 5 over 3. Greater than the greater, so greater than 5 over 3, velocity will positive. Less than the smaller will be positive. And between them will be negative. This for particle B. We can do the same for particle Q. Particle Q, V equals ds dx over dt. So 2t minus 4. Now this velocity will be more than 0 if 2t more than 4. This means t more than 2, and negative if t less than 2. So if you draw number line, so we have 2, more than 2 positive, less than 2 negative. So when the two particles have the same sign, by compare the two number lines, you can draw this number line. We have 1, 5 over 3, and 2. We can put the sign of B above the line and the sign of Q below the line. For B, it is positive if more than 5 over 3, and it is negative between 1 and 5 over 3. And for Q, it is positive more than 2 and negative less than 2. So they have the same sign. If t more than 2, they are positive, and between 1 and 5 over 3, both are negative. So t more than 1 less than 5 over 3, or t more than 2. 24. OXYZ is a trapezium. OX equals vector A, XY vector B, OZ 3B. M is the midpoint of OX. N is a point such that MNZ and ONY are straight lines. Given that ON to OY, ON to OY equals lambda to 1, use a vector method to find the value of lambda. First, label the vectors you have. OX is vector A and M midpoint, so OM have A and MX have A. So have A and MX have A. XY vector B and OZ vector 3B. Now we have ON to OY equals lambda to 1. So ON, we can write ON over OY equals lambda over 1. So equals lambda. So ON equals lambda times OY if you cross multiply. So the vector ON equals lambda times the vector OY. Now the vector OY equals OX plus XY. So vector A plus vector B. So we can write ON as lambda times A plus B. So you can expand, so lambda A plus lambda B. Now we have ON in terms of A and B and lambda. Also we can find ON from this triangle. ON equals OM plus MN. ON equals OM plus MN. OM equals half A. MN part from MZ, fraction of MZ. So we can say that this fraction K, so K MZ. MZ equals MO plus OZ. So negative half A plus 3B. So we can rewrite MZ as negative half A plus 3B. Now expand. So half A, K times negative half A, so negative half KA plus 3KB equals, we can take A common, so half minus half K into A plus 3KB. Now we have ON in two different forms, ON in terms of K and ON in terms of lambda, because for this form the coefficient of A equals the coefficient of B, so the same for the other form. For ON, the coefficient of A should be equal to the coefficient of B. Then we can find K. So you can deduce that half minus half K equal 3k. Now transpose half k, negative half k to the other side by positive. So 3 plus half, which is 3.5, k equals 1 over 2. Divide by 3.5, divide by 3.5, so k equals 1 over 7. Now k equal 1 over 7, you can find lambda, because 3k equals lambda. So lambda equal 3 times 1 over 7 equal 3 over 7.